So, I have some problematic GPUs. I just finished writing up the description of the stream, but I'll go ahead and talk about it. So, what I'm going to do today, small introduction, is I just bought a bunch of these 1.5, some 1.5 and 2.0. Bogus 2.0 and 1.5 thermal pads. I also have some, where'd it go? There we go. Some thermal paste. This TFX is pretty good stuff. Here it's like 13, rated 13, whatever, watts or whatever, 16 watts per whatever. So it's pretty good paste. So I'm going to replace these pads and paste on some GPUs right here on the live stream. So I did this yesterday on my most problematic 3090 Founders Edition. Focus. And I got some leftovers, so I'm going to use this on another pad, and we'll see what we got in here. There is a posting on, let me pull it up here. There is this. I should bring this, drag it onto the screen. Yeah, let me pull that out. And I'll just drag it onto this screen. Let me get this screen, zip over, and background and all that. Hello. Well, this work stuff. And let's put on this right here. There's this cutout of what they say on the 3090s. That's how it takes 4 pads to fill out your 3090s, and I'll show you that hopefully during this video. The yellow is the inside. Yeah, the yellow is the inside, and the greens are the outside. So, and I'll explain all that. So there's some templates of what to cut out your stuff. I'm probably not going to follow that template. I'm aware there are templates. I've got some scraps. We'll see what I can pull out of this. And they're using all, I'm kind of duplicating stuff, aren't I, here? You can see it on the screen, so why am I doing that? They're doing, I guess I can point to the screen. They're using all 1.5 millimeter. And I have, from looking at the card, I think I've read other people say that you should do 1.5 on the outside of the card and 2.0 on the inside, and I agree that the pads look a different thickness. So let's travel. Let's also, where's my mouse? There it is. Let's travel to where my rigs are. Out here in my hello. Hello. In my messy garage. Are all of these rigs, GPUs, and the other day I replaced the pads on this one, which is in kind of the hottest spots. I'm here sucking the heat out, trying to blowing in the cooler-ish air from the eaves. But so these cards are cool, and as we go along here, the cards get hotter and hotter and hotter, and it's much hotter over here. So this would be the worst place for a 3090. This would be the least performing one, and it's overheating. But I replaced the pads on it yesterday, and it is just performing like crazy. So I'm going to replace the pads on this one, which is the least performing one right now. the next least performing one. I tagged all of the ones with some painter's tape that were performing bad and moved them to the single rig RevTech motherboard. And these seem to be running fine. They're kind of a silicon lottery that these counters seem to be working okay. This one actually is getting not holding its power on. Well, it's powered on, but it's not running. It's not holding its EVGA for Win. It's not holding its settings. So we'll turn on, and like an hour or two later, something will reset it back to the factory. Just reset factory default settings, and it'll start overheating. So I can't keep it optimized in a manual setting. So I'll play with that for that's a different stream or a different time. But this Founders Edition, these two right here are working fine, along with these other four. So this rig of 6 is the best performing rig right now. It's also closer to the cooler air. And this rig is the cooled ones that are they all got moved over to here, and these are all performing bad, except now this one's doing quite well. And then these are the really old 1080 Ti's and 2080. And they're running hot. So this is also sitting right beside a hot 2080. And it's doing pretty well. So before I power off the rig, I'll show you what's going on the screen. I should have actually switched the camera over to a different view. Yeah, I should have done a live stream of this view, right? Yeah, this is what I should have done. I'll show you this camera view, which I can do again. I'm going to switch over and show you real quick. I'll have to go in there one more time. And this rig, let me just set this camera down. It doesn't really need to be used at this precise moment. I'm going to keep it charged while I show you what's going on over here with this remote desktop into the that rig that I just showed you on the smaller video. I'll go back out there and with the bigger camera and show you. But here you can see in the scene ratio, screen size, zoom by, yeah, there we go. Yeah, that works. This card right here, this is not going to select things because it's a live update. But GPU 3, the fourth GPU, GPU ID 3, I could not run at, oh, those are really good temps right now. I could not run, where's my mouse there? It's 96, so it was just 68, yeah, so that's pretty good temp. Here I am, I can run it now. Let's go ahead and set it to a medium optimization. And it'll actually do okay, I think. It might overheat. That's probably going to go up, because it's hot in the garage, no doubt about it. It's definitely hot in that garage. But this card, the number 3, it's now, it just changed the clock to be 1065. It's performing pretty well, and the hash rate, let's let it climb here. That's 107, 110. That's okay. That's anything in the 110, 115. Ideally, we can get like 25 out of these. But I think the people that are pushing 125 out of their 3090s, not watching their VRAM temps, and they're really using them, and they don't care. And they're probably running 105, 110 Celsius VRAM junctions they're abusing them. So I'm not a 125 guy. I think the 115 is perfectly sufficient. But I'm able now. This card yesterday, this number 3, if you look at number 0, GPU 0 here, I wish I could select it and clear out. Maybe I can. Look at these settings where it's 690 at a core clock and a memory of 91.1. The number 3 was worse than that. I could only get it to be like 600 or 590 or 15 or something. And it was cranking out a lot less. It is actually checking on the selection. Cranking out a lot less mega hash. So this one's now, I'm able to get out of the newly thermal pack 1, number 3 here. Yesterday I was getting less than 60. About 60 mega hash out of it. And now I'm getting, by changing thermal pads yesterday, I'm getting 110, which is, it's fine. It's nothing it's not too much to complain about. I should be getting 115, but it's hot in there, and the temperature did just jump. And I just, for the stream, I bumped it to medium. Where I am in the garage, it's warm. So on warm days, today is a fairly warm day, I put it down to light. And as the day cools off, I'll bump this back to medium. I rarely will do high. It will definitely cause it to overheat in the garage setup. So here are the numbers. Trying to remember in the stream if I play this back later. This is the one we're going to work on. So my next worst performing GPU, 3090, and it's 690 and 910. It's running about 100 Celsius VRAM. And I noticed, and these people are, that the GPU looks like it's okay. Well, that's not doing very much work. This GPU is low, and it's not using the VRAM as much. So this GPU seems lower than this GPU, but this GPU is doing a lot more work. So we'll see what happens. I have read, I believe, that perhaps the thermal paste that's on the GPU may be, it's a different type. You'll see when I crack the one open, and I'll talk about it a little bit. It's a more solid paste, and they do that at the factory. Gamers Nexus mentions it in their 30-minute breakdown, or some other teardowns, breakdowns. They explain what that paste is, and they say it's actually some pretty good paste. And end user consumers, we don't really have access to that paste or manufacturing. So the paste I put on this little TFX paste right here, this won't be as good as what shows up in the factory can do. But the pads, for some reason, they cheap out on the pad. So let me go ahead and start. I'm going to power this off, and we'll go ahead and disable this here so that power back on. It'll the last one I did, when I powered this off yesterday, I took out the last one, the last GPU. So today, I don't know if my taking out this first one is going to kind of mess up the ordering of the GPU, so I might have to kind of come back here and look at this, screenshot this anyway, so that I can reference this. Windows Shift S, come on, Windows Shift S, Control Windows Shift S, Windows Shift S should be screenshot. I don't know why it's not screenshotting on this guy. Okay, well then we will just note that it is. It's 4045. There, screen. Maybe not. Lots of this. that we have them for future reference. At least I've got them here. Okay. I'll save the desktop because I am a power off. Overclock. And select the stream. I don't expect anybody to kind of chime in or talk or converse or anything. There's this webcam, manage the schedule. Let's go to the stream itself. Just load the stream itself. There goes see my channel. I have it streaming right now. Let's watch it. Right now I'm looking at it. There should probably be an echo. Let me mute it. And let me turn the sound off here. Let me turn these GPUs up in this room. It's probably causing background noise. So let's go poll. Got to say, power off the rig and show, and I'll switch over to the other view. And let's travel again. Warm up here. So the one that we're going to work on, these are just a quick review because I had a camera on the wrong scene and OBS. So 4 non-NVIDIA cards and then 2 NVIDIA founders. And then I originally started with NVIDIA founders. I thought they'd be the best, and I was mistaken that they're not. I'm going to go ahead and turn this one off. I've got the miners where I've got button on one of them, and everything powers off. So, and this is the RevTech where I did switch out all the little cooling fans. I think that's a 40 millimeter. So I'm running 3 RevTechs. I so wish I'd bought 4. So these are you see my previous job. Let's see. These pads would see different. Let's see some new pads make a difference. Back to you. And we'll connect. Here. I don't know the audio. If the audio is too loud, not much I can do about the audio in the garage. I can put a mic on, I'm sure, myself, but I don't have one, and the mic would probably just pick up sound noise anyway. So let's let Nice Hash start back up. Yeah, joke all you want about Nice Hash. I've compared Nice Hash with Ethermine and geez, like four or five other tools. I just don't see a difference. And this one, Nice Hash, running Windows, and you see the VRAM temps. So I think anyone who doesn't run mining, especially 3090 or 3080 on the higher end cards, if you're not watching your VRAM temps, man, you just like throwing away money, I guess, or you're just abusing your cards and you don't want them to last more than a few months. I could have taken that attitude, I guess, that I'm going to run them, redline them, like past redline for months. Okay, here we go. But I'm not going to. I'm going to take care of the cards and have them run as long as I can. That one. Same. Auth code is the same auth code. So it shows 3. It shows the light. So make sure they're all lined up. What would be bam. Clock say it was. Clock say that we were 8, 10, 7, 5, 9, 45. So we're good. The 690 card is out. And so this is what we're going to be working on. What I'm going to be working on. And it's basically kind of a teardown video too. It might help someone who's going to do this to see someone else do it, because I know I was a little wary at first. This will be the second time on this, so the second card, the third time I've done this. So definitely not an expert, but I've done it a couple times. It's not my first rodeo, it's my third rodeo. And what else was I going to do? Mining, I don't know what else to do, except just tear into it. Anything else? Sorry. I do want to watch the stream and see if anybody might be chatting. Why is chat disabled for this live stream? It didn't mean chat disabled for this live stream. Customization. Yeah, I'll turn chat on. I chat. Okay, so let's chat here. So the trick, if you ever watched Gamer Access, he's super blue on these things. It was kind of silly. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to explain a little bit about the paths and what I thought of the paths. Give a little more background. Maybe I can do that while talking. And let me get this camera set up so that it's kind of a nice. Sorry about that. Dial popped up on my microphone here. There. All right. My microphone. My phone is my microphone. So a screen popped up temporarily. If that happens again, I'll try to keep an eye on it. I wonder on the stream how long that had been like that. Here's you. Back. I'm listening to stream because the dialogue messed up a little bit. I don't think I was saying anything really important. Let's go back to live. Live, I'll mute. And this laptop, it can do the stream, but it's definitely taxed on what it's doing right now. A quick trick, if you can see these, okay, I can do a pinch zoom on this. Okay. Very nice. These are there's only two tricks to this card. One is these, and the other is going to be towards the end. You're going to see me try to have to pull up this fan to clean it. This one doesn't look too dirty. I'm going to clean out this dust in here, all that dust. I got to get in there by hand. I can't really just blow it out. I have to take the fan out to do it properly. So in order to get here, I have to take the fan out and do that, pop out some clips inside here. So that's trick number two. Trick number one is this. It's really very simple. Just grab pretty much any piece of tape and you just pull up your thing. And they're keyed, so you want to go in order. And I'm going to actually, I did it in the opposite direction. So I'm going to go like clockwise from the northwest position from where I'm sitting. I'm going to, and on the tape, it's going to be northwest, northeast, southeast, southwest. So there's southeast, south. You know, sometimes you have to give a little try, and southwest. So northeast, northwest, northeast, southeast, southwest. They're in basic order. And let's stick those in my little magnet tray here. And then I got some T6s or 5s or something here. Yeah, kids crying. Yeah. So I've gotten into these before. And I tend to put them on my magnetic tray so that I know that I remember in my head their basic coordinate. try to fill in with some talk here about pads and what I got. And this is actually a better card to do this stream on, because this, you might want to see the original pads, the white ones. There's probably enough other videos on them, or pictures on them, that you could go out and take a picture on them. And then there's a little plastic thing. I'm just gonna grab a little plastic sludger, basically, and kind of pop this up from the middle, and then it'll just kind of pop out on rubber little holders. There's some rubber pads that hold this in, that just hold these little ball into these little rubber pads right here and right here. I don't even know if it's magnetic. And then it's just a Phillips over here. That. I hope the audio quality is decent and it's not too bad. Let me close this window. I don't need to see that now. Now that I enable chat on the stream, that should be good. So screw there. Screw here. I think turn magnetic tip. Slightly. They're not very strong. And then this just kind of pops out. It's yeah, it's only below it is going to start to do something else. So this pop out, and there's no glue or anything underneath it, but it is the pads. You know, get some pads here. There we go. There's this SLI connection here. It's not really, it wasn't causing any problem. Just the pad was sticky. So these are the pads that I bought before. And it's interesting that it squished that one there. I didn't know how well I got this, and I kind of got some 2 I can't tell now what the depth of these was, if I went all 2mm, or it looks like it's a 2mm and a 1.5mm. So I kind of guessed on a lot of these heights. I didn't know until more recently. Zoom out. I only recently, I mean, a couple months ago, that these, you know, calipers, everyone's got caliper. I didn't realize how useful the tip is, like this little tip part of it. Turn it on and zero it out, and you can use the tip. I didn't know this, to measure the height of things. Like, you can measure that height, so you can kind of come in here and make it larger than necessary, and then push it down until it touches. The other way. Yeah, there we go. Pushing it down, and then it touches. And this tells me that to the floor there. It doesn't tell me the height of the pad, but that's a 1.8 height on that reading. So anyway, I found that's pretty useful to measure. I'm going to use that tip in a little while too, related to the back clip. necessarily. So this is my bad build out here. I bought these, and I'll switch camera. I was showing the wrong camera. I do want to show this thing one more time on the screen, but I did buy. There we go. These are the pads that I bought. I bought them cheap, and they're all Chinese names. These are what I basically got on here. They're 6 watts. These are not much better. These are not very good. These are 6 watts. These are 6 watts. These are not very good. Then I bought the G-lids, and they're 15 watts. And these are what I bought here on this side. So these are G-lids. They're not cheap. They're 18 each one of these. Depending on the 1.5, the 2mm is actually cheaper. These are what I bought, the 1.5 and the 2.0. Zip, zip, zip. There we go. Maybe that works. Yeah. Focus. The 1.5 is $18 a piece, and the 2.0 is $17.66. So I don't know why the thicker is cheaper. Maybe just supply and demand. But that's what I bought. And don't go cheap on the pads. These blue ones, the Chinese brand names, Chinese named, non-brand names. They're pretty much knockoffs. And I found these G-lids through just a couple days ago, 2 weeks ago. I saw this posting on my Reddit app from the GPU mining. Someone changed out their 3090 pads. And he had this report he had to rebuild to 3090, and he tried for a while, and then tried some pads and then some others, and basically decided that the G-lids were better. And he talked about how he got the paste on there, and how he pasted on, and most people chimed in. And this posting inspired me to go ahead and get these G-lids and try it on another card, my works card. So now we're going to, this card we have the numbers on this card that I had already replaced these pads. So this is going to be good that I'm live streaming. I thought these pads would do good. They didn't. I still couldn't run that thing. So now I'll pop these pads out and try it with the G-lid pads. So let's switch up to the scene that I should be showing, which is this, and focus. And let me go ahead and see if I can pull up get grab this one, copy. I will paste a reference. It's going to go weird for a second. I'm going to make it smaller. I may not ever really use this because it does block a lot of real estate. I'll hide it for now. And I could move it like this. You don't need to see my arm. In case I need to refer to the screen. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, we're on the right scene. So let's just keep popping this apart. It's pretty easy from here. There's a T8 right here. I think this is already set with a T8. Yep. Some fancy left-handed screwing here. These are also T8s on the end here. There's 6 of them. This is not magnetic. You can see it, maybe you can see how dusty this is. Also the overhead. I do have an overhead camera. I could bring in. It should be. Where are you? What's the thing? Reset. There we go. You may not need to see that up there. Put this over here. Up there. Yeah, that works. And be prepared for little girls to interrupt the stream. I have 3 little girls. See, don't cheap out on your thermal pads. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is a much smaller. I think it's another T5. That's our T6 right here. It's T5 is what this says. It's a little wobbly. It's T6. Yeah, it's a T6. I tend to not unscrew them all the way, but actually it may be better if I unscrew them all the way. Otherwise you get just those last few threads get a whole bunch of tension.
It's 15.
It's 3:15. The strap comes off. This is gonna be trash. Gotta clean that off. At least these aren't as messy as the. Where am I? There. These aren't as messy, but I made a mess out of it because I gotta clean it out of this little weird thing that I somehow didn't notice. I was squishing unnecessarily. Daddy? Yes? Can you let me fill more water, please? Yes, I can. I can. I'll be right back. Okay. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I got goo inside of this little clip here. It's not very good quality, is it? There's a little bit of goo in this little clip. It's really dry and brittle. Yeah. I have a picture of the. Go ahead and set it up here. Let me pull up those two pictures of my picture. That, and then the other one, which is over here. Which one did they have? That one that I had. Did I close it already? There's a Temp, the cutout diagram. This one. This one seems pretty decent at first pass, so copy. And I've got front and back here. So that's what we're looking at. This is the original pads there. Steve from Gamer Nexus says they're like canvasy, and that's not a bad description. They are pretty canvasy in feel. Nice, clean enough. It doesn't really matter. There, clean. Yeah, these are pretty crap. Cheap. I didn't know what a decent quality thermal pad would be when I got those. Zoom back out here. And spin around. I might zoom back in. I am my own cameraman. Let's see. Some little flaky stuff right here off of this. Voltage regulator. I don't know what this thing is. And I got just a little bit of goo on this right here. All right, you can see, yeah, this tiny amount of goo right here. It doesn't really show up as blue on that camera, does it? It's awfully wobbly. It's wobbling. I don't know why the camera's wobbling. That's kind of weird. It's the opposite of image stabilization. But I'm gonna. This one doesn't really need so much of. I will rub it with alcohol, but this one doesn't require it. The canvasy stuff, you absolutely have to rub it with some alcohol. But that's pretty clean. Then there's these. So I can get it on camera here. There are these little. Where am I looking at? Looking at that. Let's get it back up this way. Here, that's what I want. There are these little gizmos. and they just have a flap here that you pop up like that. And then be very careful to, I don't pinch it, I just use this as a guide to slide out. And it's going to be tricky, you want to make sure that you want to get it in right too. And then there's one over here, there's this one here, which is very similar, same thing. Yikes. Hot spots on the monitor. And the mouse moved into it. Get out of there. Go to sleep if it hits the upper left corner. Let's see, this guy, another flap. You just flip it up like that. And then I use this as a guide to come out. That's pretty easy. This one's a tiny bit tricky, but it's not too bad. There's a little flap right here. This is kind of a cover that you can slide back like that. And then you just kind of take this and you can pop it out. You can wiggle it out a little bit. And again, I kind of just use this as a guide to use my fingers with. Or, there, I just use my fingernails to gently, these are very thin wires and you don't want to totally break it. But you just kind of lift it out. Just kind of lift it up a little bit. And this is for the LEDs. This is to power the, I think they're just white LEDs. I don't think they're RGBs. I've never seen a Founders light up anything other than white. So then this is, I think, ready to come on. Yep. Let's see how good my paste job was. My paste job was not too bad. Tended to get cover the whole thing pretty well. Hello. Yes.
Are you on streaming? Or?
Yes. What's up? Well, that paste got on there okay. I'll clean that all up and take these pads off. There was one pad on the bottom here that these were 2mm pads. I don't know which way it went, but I'll alcohol clean all that. It's really got this oily, gooey residue. So I will clean that. No such thing as a static mat around here. But then this was the arrangement of these pads. That's kind of, I'll zoom out. For these. That's how I got them arranged, which is pretty close to what the original was, which is on the screen. Yeah, that. So compare that to the image in the lower right corner, lower left corner. It's pretty close. And so I was using 2mm dimmer, and I'm going to use 2mm again. And it seemed to make a pretty decent impression. These are all 2mm. They got some funky like little spots here where it looks like there should be a pad, but even on the original, the spot. Spot right here looks like there should be a pad to go right there. And similar up on this side. Should be a pad that goes right here. But there's not. And you can kind of see the detail of the canvas. It's just some pretty bad pads. So I was going to talk about, but because I did my own paste, and this is my own paste job on this one, this picture, this is their paste job from the factory, and it's a pretty solid, it's like old chewing gum. It's very, very hard. It actually cleans off pretty easily, but it's very odd consistency, and I don't think that without having that manufacturing line, you probably can't put paste on as good as they did on the manufacturing line. Well, let me clear up these pads. One might go fairly fast. Let's switch back. Close this window. Stream. I doubt anybody. Again, I doubt anybody's talking to me, but you never know. I have had pleasantly surprised before. The canvassy stuff just fell apart. Quite a bit of dust in here. That there would be dust inside of there.
It's 15:30.
I'll go ahead and clean this up so I don't get any crud on my fingers. So I've got alcohol and kind of unrelated, pretty much unrelated, but not really totally unrelated. I learned a hard lesson about alcohol and cooling. Is that water cooling? Don't put alcohol. Don't clean your acrylic blocks with alcohol. It'll dry it out and ruin it. The alcohol will dry the acrylic and ruin it and crack, cause your acrylics to crack. I have an EK water block. I'm gonna clean the board first. I kind of do the least messy stuff first, and then work my way towards the messy stuff. That EK water block that that came with a card that I bought. It was a water-cooled 1080 Ti, and I didn't want the water cool, so I took it off. I just wanted the 1080. I was going to mine with it and didn't really see the need to water cool mining. It probably wouldn't be such a bad idea nowadays, but anyway, I took it off to air cool it, and it looked like someone hadn't changed the water in a couple of years, so I just decided to flush it with alcohol and then I let it air dry. Did nothing other than run alcohol through it and let that alcohol evaporate out of it, and it ruined. Before I cleaned that really messy thing, you can see from the top down view. Yeah, before I the overhead view, before I clean this messy thing, I'm gonna flip it over and clean the side here. Really not. This isn't very messy. at all. This is very easy to clean up. And now I'll go for the messy stuff here. Should come off pretty easy though. You don't have to do a great job. You're going to repaste it and it's going to get all everything, and the paste is non-conductive, so yeah. Can I blind the camera? Like that. Anyway, it's upside down, but whatever. Yucky stuff. Set that off to the side, and then do this block here. This will come off pretty easy. Need to do one more cleaning anyway of the actual the back plate, and then that's whatever. That's the back plate. That's the front plate. My fingers. Hope it's not cancerous. And I'll pop these guys off, put them in the trash can. I wonder if this overhead light would help. Probably. Dead time. Dead air time. Now, finish cleaning that off. I tend to use just half cotton balls. Per cleaning session or whatever. I just squeeze it out over the side anywhere. It'll evaporate, right? It's not going to hurt anything. Clean this pad up. Fine. Again, I go from try to go from least messy to messy, but most of this is not messy anyway. This should be pretty fast. Clean up. Yeah, whatever. It's good enough. I think having paste on the pad's gonna hurt much. So 1.5. It's gonna be on the back side. 2 on the inside. Here's my 2s. I will put them on the board. Oh, yeah, that's clean. Let's keep cleaning because I'm not done. This one, so that this is not too dirty in here. It's not too dirty. There's definitely some dust for sure that needs to be cleaned out. You can see all that kind of whitish stuff. It should be black, not white. It's pretty dusty, but it's not like solid particulate kludge clogging. It's just superficial. However, over here on this side, the one that's important, there is actual kludge blocking up the flow of air. And that's gross. Now I can try to blow it out. This one is really dirty. So I'm gonna spray this out. I can try, but what I did before, it wasn't really just, it's getting wedged in here, and I actually needed to get inside of there. And there's an easy enough way to do it, so I'm not going to just try, I'm going to actually take it out. Zoom out a little bit, or you can see it from the overhead. This kind of does want to go a little bit. You can see it kind of wiggling here a little bit, but without releasing from some clips on this back side, it's not going to go. So I found the tip of this fits pretty nicely down in here. And there's just some clips. There's one on the left, one on the right, and one on the back. And Gamers Nexus, Steve Gamers Nexus, his video of the teardown was kind of humorous to the extent that he went through to get it to work. But this one, you can pretty much come in here. I felt like I could get this one to pop. And if you can get it to pop, there it is. I'm trying to get it, it's much better because I'm trying to kind of do it on camera. And if you get it to pop, and it's a one-way pop. I don't remember which way I came in. I think it was from the backside. And in Steve's video, even he showed it coming in through the backside. And I can see it there. There's this little part. I just fit this right in here, and it should slide out. Yeah, I got it. And it's out. And if I get the other side, I'll get it. You can see it. The other one just clicked in. I'm trying not to hurt the fins any. And there's probably thinner pieces of metal I could be using, but it is. One yesterday was actually surprisingly easy. Don't know if this one will be the same. I think I even had the same flat. I just had gravity working with me. I wasn't fighting gravity, I was working with gravity. And I pushed in on this clip. And then you gotta kind of push in on these clips, but they're double clipped. Double-sided clips on this side, and it did just come out. Thanks. Reset. Let's try again. Do over. Yeah, that one's good. I can feel that one gave and budged a little bit. This one, if I can get it to budge a little bit. So I can get this one or this one, and this is Steve was humorous to the extent that he was going to get them to budge. And I get that it was difficult, and it can be difficult. But the one I did yesterday, something first try, was really easy. Easier, that's for sure. Because I didn't even really have to do the middle one. It just slid out. I'm looking for that clip. It looks like it's already been popped. There's this little middle thing. Sorry, this can maybe help. This might be the trick. You got to pop out this little middle piece. Set it off. That might give it just enough more wiggle room for it to actually slide out easier. I did that before, and notice it's a little more budgy. Moves a little bit easier now. Not a whole lot more, but a little bit more, and that may just be all that it takes to get in there easily. I can see it. And I try to pop it. And I'll try the other way. I don't think that's the way that it wants to go. It doesn't want to go that way. It wants to go this way. side free. That side free. I think the other side just clicked in. And then this is the double. Yesterday it didn't have this hard a time. I'm looking for a simpler way. It'd be nice if they just, if you could use this piece, if it had kind of a free piece that came with it that worked. Alright, that kind of, I think that feels just this little lip coming in. These things are too bendy. I have a small piece of metal handy thin. I do have. Yeah, it's not what I want to use, but let's try this. I'm gonna try least drastic. This is the sort of more drastic one. So remove the camera. Little hacksaw, little miniature hack. Let's see if just the chance that a zip tie would be the secret.
It's 16 hours.
Not really feeling that budge at all. I'll try from this side. I can get this one. I think I'm through that clip, and I can get it to go down. That one's out. This one I cannot get to go out. Those. What do these little screws do? I don't know if I get into that. Well, living dangerously, yeah. These are gonna be smaller than me. Probably a 5. Yeah, it's a 5. Well, let's see what these do. Pretty odd feeling. Doesn't really come out. Yeah, it does. that's got some blue thread lock on. Nice and tighter than I feel like there should be. I don't know what that does. If that helps get these in or out any easier. It doesn't look like it really does anything. I think that's for extra suspension. Okay. I'm trying to fit the wrong side. Unless I can try this side again. That's the side I can get. This is the side that I can't get. There, got it. That's through. That's through. No, they were both through. Okay, I got that. I'm gonna do the Steve trick now where I have something wedged in there. And then this one that I know I can do a little easier. I'll do it this way. That one's through. I can feel that one. I'm bending those pins, so. And then I wonder if it's so close. I just clicked back in, I think. Yeah, it just popped out yesterday. I was like, Steve, what's so hard about it? Steve and I, we're real close buds. Looking. I see a tab right there. And I think if I can get into that tab. I heard something just click in. Man, that signs out. Part of me just wants to force it, but that believe you are out. That got through. Just come out. Alright, reset. Some damn ends there. I'm definitely squishing some fins. I see it right there. Yeah, just there. I'm through. I can see me bending that down. And I think a zip tie could help once I'm through. That could get away. Once you're through, zip tie it. And not here. This. And then thread a zip tie through. That might be enough. And then, it's in the wrong way. I want it. That's enough. You can see that hook. I can see it here too. So, I see a hook. And I can squeeze a zip tie down in there. Okay, so that's down. And I come over here. And I bet there's another hook on this side. I'm through on this side. Now I have one last. I know where's another zip tie. I have two. So this one's done. I feel like I can pull this out and throw the zip tie in here. Yeah, I think this goes all the way across. And then, so we've got zip tie. Start with the middle, pop it, and then pick a side. There's easier. And then it looks like the clip is kind of on looking down at it. The clip, I'm thinking there's a clip on the right side. I'll show you here in a moment. There, free. Got it. Bam. Okay, that took a while. And there's no clips in here. what it is it's trying to get there's a little, yeah, this does nothing. This screws did nothing, so I'll just put them back on. I think it's for extra sturdiness mount if you really want it. But there's just little detents or inside of there that these clips lock into. And there's a double-sided clip here. And the trick was to get this right on that little tab, and then when that's on that tab, you can get, I don't know if you can see that well. Or I'm able to move that a little more at an angle, or I can, without moving the actual part, I'm able to move the spring just a little. And so that's the middle. If you start with the middle, maybe, and then similarly on this side, there is a tab. You see, there's a tab. I'm trying to focus. The tab right here. It's the same thing. Kind of aim for the right of it and press it down.
It's 16:15.
If you're adept enough to get a zip tie through there, that'd be awesome. And similarly the other side. Yeah, the little tab's always on the right of center, right off center to the right. And if you can push that down, then you can get something else inside of there. And a hacksaw blade seems to do the job. Anything thin, metal, not anything thin and strong. I don't think the zip tie is strong enough to get over that and into that tab. Maybe. If you know where you're aiming, you can maybe get this zip tie into that tab and pop it over. Use the flatter as a, use the curved side of the zip tie. There's a kind of a flat side of the zip tie and a curved side of the zip tie. Use the curved side on the metal and let it slide up in there. Okay, now that's off. Got a lot of dust I need to dust in. And I'm going to put these three back on before I forget about them. Not that they'll be in the way. I just don't want to lose them. This is the 5. I'm going for almost 2 hours. There's just thread lock on it. The blue thread lock to this thing. They actually blue thread lock almost all these, which is fine. But these, I guess they don't come rattling loose. Okay. The whole reason we did this, I tried initially following C's video. He takes off both fans, and I got confused when it showed when he was doing the back rear fan, and it came off so easily because the cable for this and just kind of comes up at this weird angle and slides right out. I saw the video of him doing that. Sorry, over here. I saw the video of him doing this fan, but I was doing this fan, and so I was following along on the wrong fan, and I put my screwdriver down in here, and I started unscrewing these things, and then I started to wiggle the fan out, and then poof, I just popped. I was trying to wiggle when it was inside of the housing. I was trying to wiggle this, and the cable broke. It came free when it shouldn't have from the fan. So there's a room there that I broke the fan cable, and that would be not easy to replace. So that's why I took the housing off, so that I can get inside of here. You can't really get this fan out without taking the housing off, because I'll show you right now. These are just Phillips. So I think we got a Phillips maybe somewhere around here. Maybe. This will work. Yeah. Oops. Just can't point back more towards the table. So now this fan cable is taped to the side, and when I was trying to lift, so I unscrewed it with that metal shroud still on it, and I was wiggling it free. I couldn't. You can see this thing right here. It wasn't. It wasn't flexing enough, and basically because of how it bumps in there, and with that shroud on, and because it's taped, the cable wouldn't just slide out. So it was bumped. Even right now, if I were to pull this hard enough, the cable's going to come out of the back there, and it's salvageable. But now that I have the shroud off, I can just pull this tape off here, and I can easily lift it out with no problem. Easy. This just, you can pull back this tape right here, this sticker, and peel it back. There's just one of those little flapped cables underneath it. It's just one of those flapped cables. Almost looks like I flap this up. The light in there. It's just one of those little flapped cables. It slides right up in there in the flap. You would flip the flap up and the cable should slide right out. Well, unless you get access in there and take it out. And it'd be very hard to put it back together without reaching inside there. But all this is a very, so watch this then. I'm going to take this out of the garage and dust it off. Very, very dusty here. Not a whole lot of long lifespan on this. So here I got a compressor. This is my, you're not supposed to shake them. I was just seeing how much. So I'm going to take a camera and let me pop these views, hide these views here. we're just going straight out. So then, with the fan on there, crotch shot. How the lighting is on this. Just a little bit. But it's going to tip if I adjust it too much. I'll stay. So imagine a fan on it. It's not going anywhere. You really got to get inside of it, and even then, it's still not working. So it's just not going anywhere. So you really got to get it inside of here and start to rub it with your fingers and get it out of here. And with that fan in the way, you just can't do it. So I mean, I'm getting right up inside of here. Here we go. Up, but it's pure metal. It doesn't matter that I just froze it. It's not supposed to go upside down, right? So I'll get right inside of here. And it sort of cleans it out. A mess. You gotta get right in the crevice of that thing for it to work. But this can result in really a portion of your temperature, VRAM temperature. That down there. There we go. That might work better. Right in there. And then this thing's already cold and it won't blow as well once cold. But I got more cans, and we'll get another can of spray. Could be vacuuming it too. Talk about that in a second. So this is all metal right here. So I could use vacuum on this. It's all metal. There is a belief if you vacuum your stuff, it'll create a static electricity field, and it'll discharge and hurt your electronics. just not blowing out. Try the vacuum. Alright, now the vacuum. I do not have a micro vacuum or a micro blower, so I'll just try this with a normal vacuum. And then one last testing. Still too cold. I can still see some dust inside here. No. Just looking down in there, there's a little bit of dust in that little crevice there. Probably vacuum that. Okay, we'll call that good. Not close. Huh. Oh, the latch. There we go. Okay, all this yucky dust on there. I have to clean that off. This was relatively clean. Okay. Plugging in. I don't think I need the hack to solve it now. Okay, now 2 hours and 5 minutes later, let's look into the actual pads. Whenever for static stuff, I always touch the ground of like the shrouds or the, get these pictures I always touch the shrouds. I never touch a chip. I try to never touch a chip. You could even touch these. It's a pretty impressive little bus cable right here. This cable, this connector, definitely meant to carry some amps. But then once it gets onto the board, like really, really beefy. Okay, yeah, sure. Massive. It's bridging 3 different pins here. You can see that. It's bridging 3 different pins right there. But then once it gets onto the PCB, great. So now you get it onto this. You've got power coming onto this nice shunt of wire, and it goes onto the PCB. So and then it goes down and then touches the PCB, and then what? I mean, it's all black coated, so we don't really see what bus they're running it through. But I mean, good luck running those amps through a PCB. Anyway, time to start passing this thing. With what we've got left over first, I'll crack open some new ones. Scissors right here. I might need a few tips again. Should I? One more time. 4:30. I want this to be a fairly short thing, but there we go. Dust, dust, dust. Let's see. Always touch the shroud, and then you should be fine. This should be, because it was designed by electrical engineers, you hope. Everything's grounded. If you touch the shroud, there'll be no shock at that point. Shock would be on the shroud, and it shouldn't affect the chips. Okay, that's good. I can keep the thing. That should evaporate in a moment. So I have some that are already kind of closely sized. Not exact, but close. Really oddball one here. Should be good. Go on which? On which? On this one? Yeah. Okay, that's good. And then this is just kind of an oddball piece that is actually pretty useless. Got one for the standalone, the bottom, one right here. This is supposedly the one that gets the hottest, because it's here on the bus, mostly for airflow reasons. And then I'm going to get the one that's kind of on the diagram in the southeast position. That's just above. It's just above the one of the screw mounts of the GPU, which is going to be right here. The one it's a mouse. That one. Here, this one. Got these. If you can see what I'm looking at. No, you can't see. I've got these. I've got the little nubbin and the solo. So now I need these on the side. And this was the 2mm. I get this backwards. Yeah, there's a hardly noticeable 1.5 versus 2. Like, really? I guess it's thicker. But that is a little narrow. It's a little better like that. It's just enough to be okay. So here. You. How much should have gone? That way and squish it. There's plenty of room between. That's up in that small area region. There's plenty of room between. I'll go here. Enough room so I can just cut the height. Concerned putting the pad on. It's pretty wide open on that side, so it's kind of raised. Let's leave that open then and cut this here.
It's 6:45.
Maybe been enough to cover those, but it's still not big enough. Can I zoom this? I don't think I can zoom. I don't have the ability to zoom this too much. Maybe I can zoom either by hand. Cropped left. It's not really going to change the yeah, didn't really give the effect that I wanted. I was hoping to zoom this a bit. Make it a bit larger so you can see what I'm doing. I can still do it a little. Let's give left edge of 400. 500. And then 400 on this side. 600 on this side. Yeah, maybe you can see that. I'm doing. Is that a little bit? And do need to cut a new one open. All used. This one's junk. About 2 mil. Yeah, these almost well thought out. They have the package that you can easily pop it open. Great, except it doesn't actually. It's wider than the slit. The little slit that they give you. The product doesn't really slide out the slit. The product is slightly wider, so you still have to come in here and finish it off with scissors. Get it to come out. I mean, it's, you can see there, it's wider. The product is wider than that slit they gave. So, nice try. I need a little sliver off the side here. And then cut down here. Probably not good to be touching this stuff too much for its thermal purposes. I don't think it's like carcinogenic or anything. And I probably only need like half of that. don't know if it matters if there's a front or a back. Okay. And then that's like the almost the perfect height. I'm just gonna go for it. Okay. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's all the original pads on you. Need to put paste on you in a moment, but let's put the fan back on after I bother dusting this a little bit. I'm going to go out and dust this fan a little. Be right back. Yeah, I vacuumed and dusted it. You can still see the difference between if I run my finger through here. Now it's relatively cleaner. So I just use my shirt. I'll do laundry later. Yeah, you can have rags, and wet rags and stuff too. Okay. You back on. This little. Screws are right here. These are just little Phillips. Left-handed screwing skills. Okay, and then this just tapes back on. And then the shroud back on. That's the front. This is the front. So this goes there. Got some dust on the inside here. This is magnesium. The metal, is it just aluminum? Or is it something a little more exotic than just aluminum? Okay, I think it goes back. This. And you just want to make sure that you don't get the LED. Zoe! Yeah? Can you call me on the walkie-talkie? You can call me anytime.
I'll use the walkie-talkie.
Yep.
Hello.
Helena, hello.
Stop it, Zoe.
Helena says, stop it, Zoe.
Oh,
Okay.
and that cannot hear me. I'll
And the thermal paste on here. And then we're going to do it upside down.
17 hours.
It's 5 o'clock.
on this walkie-talkie.
I don't know where she is. Are you changing channels? You are changing channels.
But
So.
where's on the walkie-talkie?
There we go. Don't change the channels, please. Helena needs to call us. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, Helena.
What do you mean?
I was just seeing if you were there. Over.
Okay, I'm on time.
Hun says it's dinner time.
Please don't change the channels. Please don't change the channels. Please don't change the channels. No. You talk on the side button. The side button. This button. You go push that button right there. Hit that button, push that. That's the only button you should be pushing.
Where's Helena on this hotkey touch?
We have to ask for her. Say, push. Hold it down. Hold it down. Hello, Helena. That's what you say.
Where's Helena on this hotkey touch?
Hmm. Pretty thick paste.
Where's Helena on this hotkey touch?
Hey, Zoe, stop. Stop messing with the buttons. She's not talking right now. It's fine. She doesn't have to be. It's okay, Zoe. Zoe, stop playing with it. Not a toy. Thank you. Alright. Okay. Yeah. And then I turn this over. And what just oh you silly. So not ideal. Where did that thing go? Did it fall off again? No, it's there. It's the first time it's kind of been floppy like that. It normally doesn't fall off so easily. So I'm going to, this thing's kind of loose right now. The way I did this, these pads are going to fall off. So you could put the pads on here, but I want to put the pads on the chips and make sure they're nice and centered on the chips. I don't feel like if I put the pads on here, I would have like a one-to-one, like exact precision on the chips. So I want to leave it like this. But then this thing is kind of floppy. And not really going to, there's no real way to tape it or anything. Make sure they don't get the wire caught in there. It's just going to kind of be flopping free. But it will land right over this. So it would be like there, and maybe I can get that to line up right. And then this needs to kind of be tucked out of the way and then brought back through. So if I tuck this LED wire out with the tweezers. I'm just going to click it on. Yeah, good enough. So then I'm just going to bring it on top and set it down nice and gentle until I get a good secure fit. I have it right here.
No, I don't want to take it. I just want to make sure
It's fine.
I'm 20 to?
It's on. I've already talked to her and confirmed it's back working.
Okay. She over at
Adams. Yeah. Alright, that feels about right. And there are some little detents, little standoffs or so, that if you can get it to, these little plastic fingers on it right here. There's another one right about in here, this little guy. And if it's in there and in here, then you're pretty good. It's in. And then I'm just gonna real quick, the fan, I gotta get this fan cable before you button too much stuff up. This fan cable has to come out. This fan cable has to come out. This. So that's the problem with that, is that it's got to go through the little plastic piece, but I can still fix it. Let me get these around that, and then this to go under this plastic piece. So it's still fairly flexible. There we go. Now that's loose and not caught on anything. That's loose. This one seems a little too tight, as if it didn't get enough slack to it or something. It's not actually reaching, or if it is, it's barely reaching. That's enough. That'll do. Start with it. Left up. This one, I just kind of gently push these cables in. And then lock it in place. Same with over here. Flap up. It stays kind of on its own until you just gently slide it in. And then this one just lays down in here. And then this shroud slides over it. So it's in. And now we can tighten down the GPU bracket. With Phillips. No, T6 or something. T6. T6. here I go opposite sides. Otherwise, you might bend the tension or whatever fancy word it has for it. Oh, I didn't zoom out, sorry. So this side we'll use 1.5 millimeter pads. This one helps. Just go ahead and put this on right now. It'll hang off the side. And this is a TI, I think. A very upset little girl there. And then just one T8 over here should do it. On the, I can't see what I'm doing. So here. And this T8 here. That's good enough to hold it while we work on the rest. So 1.5. This is my 1.5. Still feels really thick. Wish they actually had a label on it, so I wouldn't think that it's false advertising. Or it feels as thick as the 2. I'm gonna need more than one anyway, so I might as well cut this open so that I have it. Yeah, so this is this is the 1.5, 1.5. They're both 1.5, so 1.5. Try not to get them confused with the 2s. So we'll use the smaller one first. These are 1.5s. These are 2s. And I got 4 here. I'm doing that triangle. 4, 4, 3. I'm looking at the diagram.
It's 17:15.
This diagram. Get an idea of how they cut their pads. You want to get a pad here, and I can cut the top row off there. Scissors. 15 to 2. They're not putting the pads over on this side, so they're not doing that. They're maybe this is 15, 16. This one right here. That's the 40 by 16. This is 40 by 16. Oh, I put 16, 15, whatever. 40. This is a 15 by 52. 15 by 52. What's that? 15 by 60 goes here. I guess it covers up this little guy. But the original one, this is a tiny little sliver over here, which I don't mind going bigger. You can't go onto these, let me know what those are. You can't go on that because there's no room in this cutout really for that. They're already kind of recessed and indented for that part. It's going to go in like, like this. So there's already kind of a reservoir, a detent for that, and for this big chip right here, these two chips. And the picture shows the shows that little hole right there where this chip goes. So we definitely do that. But I kind of want to do this and this. Let me get the big ones first. Then I'll worry about the small ones. and cut this up for these little individuals. I got like 1, 2, 3 little nubbins. So we'll do a slightly big nubbin, a slightly big nubbin, a couple other nubbins. I got a nubbin here. I got a nubbin here. And a nubbin here. And a nubbin out here. I don't quite remember where. But this one as well. Something. The high side is U. So you have something big on the high side, and there's something little over here. And I got something bigger over here with the triangle. There's a small midget thing there, so that's probably okay. And then cut this corner off. At the top SLSI side, it's very small, and you have just that spread. And here we're on the low side. They're going to do a nice spread there. here, all we really want is that width. This, like, yikes. At least it landed. One side up. It's a fairly long one where they have a mist coming out. And this is almost useless. That can be combined. Yeah. Don't really want to compress it any.
It's 7030.
530. Cut corner off you. Cut a corner off you. Oh, it's done. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we got her. Okay, let's pack this up and power back on. Okay, we're all good, good, clear, clear. Okay. T, that's a Phillips. Where's my, where'd they go? Oh, there we go. These are Phillips. These are going to be T5? Oh, no real way that's T5. I guess so. A hair bit wobbly or T6. Don't really fit. Alright. Always put these back sides in first and then drop, because otherwise it doesn't really fit in very easily. It's harder to get the back sides in afterwards. Front end will fit in pretty easily then. And then if you kept your orientation correct, you don't drop it too much, you'll know which order it went in. That I've got my northwest. They're not identical. They're all different. They're custom. Each one is unique. And they're magnetized. They do tend to just easily slide in. Sometimes you gotta wiggle them a little bit. They'll get in there. That one looks a little off. That's correct, that's correct. Whatever. No, it looks fine. I don't know what's going on with that. So I am... And let's do the fronts with the T8s. And last one, tighten up, plug it in. Let's see how much better we can do it. Much better it behaves now. Okay. Yeah, I'll dust this out a little. I didn't quite get this. With my shirt here real quick. Okay. Let's try it out. It is pretty warm out here. That's gonna work. Rotated. It is bizarre. I don't remember how I did this before. Close enough. Power on. I just experienced. I have sometimes rigs, just the nice ash rigs just power off. No, don't power off. They logically disconnect from the network and they're done. HTTP closing is what they do. Right, I think we're good. Fan, lights, power on. That's it. And let's see how good it does. And so, into the other scene now. View, 10. Let's get a disconnected. The RepTechs are intentionally not very powerful CPUs, so they're just enough to get up and running. I have no complaints about the non-speediness of the RepTech. Yeah, I'm done. We'll be in like 10 minutes. Here's where it's kind of a bug in nice hash or says no devices. What I do in this case is it's saying no devices can establish op profiles. So I'm go ahead and stop it. So it doesn't work. And then I'm going to edit the config file, and I'm going to remove these optimization profiles. And save. Close. And now I will exit. And launch.
It's 17:45.
Now it's not complaining about unable to find devices. Let's say it again. Interesting. All right, well, let's go ahead and pull up the 10. And now click CPU. But we will turn on optimize for start you. She stopped, so it'll start you up. Watch it. We're here downloading it. Notice that there we go. 585. This is, I think it's set 585. And notice number 1 and number 3. They're kind of the same temperature. They're within 100 on the setting, so watch this. They're really cool. Their VRAM, their fan is a kind of odd fan, so they don't really kick up the fan too much. So let's see what happens. This was the one before. This is the reset we kind of got to re-demise. It's fine. So boom. This one should. We're going to put this one. RepTech 3. RepTech 3. Did I air? I don't know. This is the error. Manual. Stop them. And edit them again. No, there's a way to reset them. I think it basically calls it crash or something, and it'll detect that and exit. And again. We want it to not say that cannot find by it's not doing it. So it says that in yeah, I optimize this. Results true. Okay, now it's not complaining. OC tune is mining. Now since I optimize light, I get success. There we go. Now GPU IE3, the fourth GPU, is now optimized light, and it's going to be outputting better hash rate in a second. It's got to speed up. Give it a moment. And 91, 93, 96, 98, 101, and it's running at 84. It's running at a cooler temperature than the other two. They're varying. They're running at 88 hash and 77 hash. So now I'm going to optimize ID0 number 1. And watch this. My 45 is set, and we should get 100 hash. And when the garage gets cooler, right now it's hot in the garage. When the garage gets cooler, we can do a. It's actually better. It has to warm up a little bit. 86 degrees. Probably do 87 degrees. It might be identical. And it's 97 hash. When down in hash, give it a second, it might come up. And I can give an optimized medium just to see what happens. I'll go backwards. Medium. Watch its temperature. And I'm finding that reaching 95-ish degrees, the GPU is 70, and that's where the thermal paste, this TFX thermal paste, is not as good apparently, according to Steve at Gamer Nexus. It's not as good as the this stuff. Yeah, that's not as good. That's 98, 96, 90, 92, 98. I'm looking at GPU 0 and 3. Now, the positioning of GPU 3 is pretty bad at 28, so it's going to be hotter. GPU 0 is at that leading edge of that that lower tier and get some of the better airflow on it. But it's not bad. So here we got 110 and 115. So we're good. So before, refer to the beginning of the video, of the stream, we're 3.5 hours into this. So this took me 3.5 hours. I was talking a lot. If I didn't have trying to document this, I probably could have banged through it a bit faster. That's a really good temperature leading edge. Now 100 on that, I do want to go back down to light. I don't want the temperature too much on number 3, so then back to light. It's hot in the garage. So I'm willing to manually watch things every now and then remotely from my phone, set it to light, and just leave it alone. If I'm around, then I will. If I'm around the house and I know the temperature, and I'm controlling the garage and letting air in and out, I will set it to light or medium as I feel appropriate. But that's a really good temperature on the one that we just did. So we're running medium on 92 and pushing. It's 110. Not like it's not ridiculously great hash. 108, 110. But it's all right. So definitely pleased with the G-lids, the gelids, whatever they call them, delid, G-lid. Yeah, so it makes a difference. The temperature should come down on the number GPU i3. It is slowly coming down. It's hot up there. It's hard to get fresh, cool air. If you're just blowing around hot air, you're never really going to cool anything up. You're just blowing hot air onto a machine. It's just going to stay at the same temperature, no matter how hard you blow the hot air. So it's warm up there. Yeah, please. Especially with the pad change we just did, I'm getting a 92 VRAM temp on a medium, and that's pretty much the heat of the day. I just tickled forward there, but that's fine. Now I get to do the other two. I get to do these two. Pad them out. No need, I feel no need to document or video that. I'll just bang them out in a matter of a couple hours this time. And I'm down to 3 and this is a 2.0, I believe. Down to 3 2.0 pads. These are $18 a piece. Just call it $18 a piece. And 3 or 4 of these 1.5s. So I'll have to buy some more. But I bought 6 just to kind of see. And it wasn't cheap. You can see my order here. This is how much I paid for 6 2 millimeters, so $280 for 6 2 millimeters, 6 1.5 millimeters, or whatever, and then one of these. This thing's not cheap. This was $40. This TFX paste, which I guess it's okay. My GPUs seem to be higher, but it's working harder. So, and I'm understanding that it's not going to be as good as the factory gel or the paste. Won't be as good. Yeah. Long stream, pseudo unprofessional, but hope maybe you can get something out of this if anybody watches this. It's mostly for my own documenting purposes. And but if you did like it, then feel free to like and subscribe. Obligatory. like and subscribe promo here.